when they take him to Jesus, notice John chapter 18 and verse 30. John 18 verse 29 and verse 30. Pilate then went out to them and said, "What accusation do you bring against this man?" They answered and said to him, "If he were not an evildoer, we would not have delivered him up to you." He's an evildoer. Let me ask you, had he violated any of the civil laws of Rome? He had not violated any of the civil laws of the state. In fact, do you know that Pilate had the separation of church and state much clearer than even the Jews did? Notice John 18, verse 31. Then Pilate said to them, "You take him and judge him according to your law." How many laws did Pilate recognize? How many? 2. He says, "I got my law, which is the civil code of Rome, but you take this man and you judge him by what? By your law, which is religious law." In other words, Pilate is recognizing that there are how many kingdoms? 2 kingdoms. His has a law, which is civil law, and they have a law, which is religious law, because they've accused Jesus of transgressing the first table of the law. But you see, the Jews, they wanted to put him to death, and they needed the help of the state in order to put him to death. This is what the Bible calls fornication. When the church uses the state to slay those who are not in harmony with her teachings. Notice John chapter 18 and verse 31. Therefore the Jews said to him, "It is not lawful for us to put anyone," what? "To death. We need your help, Pontius Pilate, to put this man to death." Notice Luke 23 and verse 2. It says, "And they began to accuse him, saying, 'We found this fellow perverting the nation and forbidding to pay taxes to Caesar, and saying that he himself is Christ, a king.'" Let me ask you, was this an accusation that would have raised the ears of Pontius Pilate? Oh, absolutely. They say, this man wanted to be a king. And he said we're not supposed to pay taxes, which is an open, blatant lie, because we already read that they said, Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's." He said, pay taxes. So this is an outright lie. And they're saying, this man said that he's a king. But they're twisting his words, because Jesus had not said that he was going to be a political king, but he was king of the kingdom of grace, of a religious system. And so Pilate calls Jesus in, and he wants to have an interview with him. He wants to ask him if he's a king. Notice John 18, verse 36. When Pilate says, "Are you a king?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world." How many kingdoms did Jesus recognize? His, and what other one? This world's kingdom. He says, "My kingdom is not of this world." If my kingdom were of this world, in other words, if mine was a political kingdom, what would his servants do? My servants would what? Would fight so that I should not be delivered to the Jews, but now my kingdom is not from here. Are you understanding what's happening here? Jesus is recognizing 2 kingdoms. One is the civil power, and the other is his spiritual kingdom. And he's saying, I came to represent the spiritual kingdom. I did not come to take over the political system. Notice John 18, verse 37. Pilate therefore said to him, "Are you a king then?" Jesus answered, "You say rightly that I'm a king." He says, "Yeah, you bet I am. For this cause I was born, and for this cause I have come into the world, that I should kill everybody with a sword and take over the world." That's not what he says. What kind of kingdom did he come to establish? He says, "I have come into the world that I should bear witness to the what? To the truth." That's something spiritual, folks. Everyone who is of the truth hears what? My voice. And by the way, do you know that 3 times Pontius Pilate goes out and he says to the people, "I've examined him. I don't find any crime in this man." Did Pilate understand that Jesus was not saying that he was going to be a king to take over the political system? Did he understand that? Listen, if he didn't understand that, he would have had Jesus killed right there. But he didn't, because he knew that Jesus was not a political king like the Jews accused him of being. In fact, 3 times Pilate said that Jesus was innocent, that he was delivering to death an innocent man. That's a travesty in justice.